There are many traditions in the West. They think that, or they consider that that there is brain and heart and body, and there is nothing more than that. For them, mind almost doesn't exist, and soul is out of question. The approach of Western world is highly materialistic, highly reductionistic, highly physicalistic, and for them, mind and soul are some story, some mythology, or some ghost in the brain, as they say. But recently, in these some years after quantum physics, scientists have come to this conclusion: there is consciousness. At least if the terms mind and soul are not accepted, the word consciousness is slowly creeping into the scientific word. And before this consciousness subject, the academic lobby, before they accepted this word consciousness, they used to say the C word, and they used to hate this C word. People used to think consciousness is all hocus pocus, it's all nonsense, it's all brain. But quantum physics has forced them to accept consciousness in academic field. At least they have introduced this term, and they're thinking in these lines that there is some energy in this body which is non-material. At least this point we have reached. So what is consciousness? And what does our scripture speak about it? Well, consciousness is an energy, but that energy proceeds from some source, and that source, scriptures call it as soul. And that's the point there. There's soul and there is a consciousness. Science can detect consciousness. As far as detecting soul, that's not possible. Bhagavad Gita is clear about this fact that soul cannot be seen. Avyaktoyam, achhedoyam, akledoyam, adayam. Soul cannot be seen, it cannot be burned, it cannot be handled by any instruments. You cannot put it in a glass flask and show it to somebody. That's not possible. That's out of question. What you can detect in laboratory is consciousness, which probably in future quantum physics may be able to detect it. But the idea is, what is consciousness? What is soul? There's a Bhagavad Gita verse 2.17 which says, Avinashi tatat vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam. You can understand like this: soul is like a bulb, a light bulb, and the consciousness is a light which is emitted from the bulb. Now, bulb can be at particular place, but the light can spread everywhere. Similarly, Gita informs us soul is in the heart of the person. Hirdedeshe Arjuna tisthati, in the heart. And from there, this light of the soul, the energy of the soul is actually transmitted into an entire body, and that is called as consciousness. Now one point, this consciousness is not awareness. Being conscious and having consciousness, those are very two different things. When we say I am conscious, that means I am aware of this room. That is a function of consciousness. Being conscious is a function of consciousness, but consciousness is a particular thing, just like water, air, earth, fire, ether. It's a particular thing. It's an energy like electromagnetic energy, electrical energy, which science is slowly coming to grapple this thing, consciousness. And this energy is produced from soul, which our scriptures inform, which science can never detect. So that's difference between consciousness and soul. The only way to detect soul is through consciousness, and if science can one day in fact validate the existence of consciousness, just like heat energy, kinetic energy, electromagnetic energy, then the next step will be to actually validate the presence of soul. Hare Krishna.